At what age did you notice that your voice isn't like anyone else's? When did this voice first materialize?
I guess I started singing and imitating what was already around me. My family is from Philly. I have many roots in Philly. My dad went to Overbrook High School and Strawberry Mansion.
Okay.
My mom is from South Philly, and my dad, my grandfather, they started. My grandfather and my grandmother, Elder Goldwire and Ruth McClendon, started a group called the Savettes of Philadelphia. And so hearing their recordings from 1962, 1966 on albums like the Sensational Savettes and Mercy, hearing my dad in his home studio writing songs from its very beginning to when it was finally finished, singing to and from school, listening to my mom's music, Luther Vandross and Stevie Wonder, and all of these different influences. My dad is a bass player too.
Did they trick you into the family business?
It was definitely, I was absorbing what was around me. I listened to the Brothers Johnson, I listened to the Spinners and the Whispers and all this kind of stuff. All of this I was kind of, I don't know, I was just absorbing it. And I think because of that, maybe I just had a certain ear or a certain obsession maybe with
all right, I'm asking that. The reason why I'm asking that is because, okay, so I too grew up in a similar situation. My dad was an oldies doo-wop singer from the 50s. And when I was in first grade, I went to a performing arts high school, and our homework assignment, best homework assignment in the world, we all had to purchase Songs in the Key of Life. Came out the week that I started first grade.
Wow.
So we all, it's like, have your mommy and daddy buy you this record. And we brought the record, and we all brought it in the next day. And for music appreciation class, we read the liner notes. This was the first time you saw like sprawling liner notes and all that stuff.
Wow. And
so the thing is, the next homework assignment was bring your favorite 45 in. And your favorite single. And, the kids in my class are bringing in stuff of the day. I come in with like Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, like Why Do Fools Fall in Love from like 1950 something. And I, honest to God, thought it was new music. Like my dad tricked me into thinking that doo-wop and early rock was new.
Yeah. So
I'm a 6-year-old that knows who Chuck Berry is and Bo Diddley and all this stuff. And the way that my teachers laughed, like they were so amused, like, oh no, this is music when we were kids, Ahmir. And I remember feeling like, oh, they're bringing in Disco Duck and y'all making me bring in, like I was angry at my parents for tricking me. Like I later found out like, oh, there's old music and there's my music. And then finally my sister started feeding me what new music was but
at the time.
So for you though, like just typically that is what was heard in the household or just okay.
And then whatever was on the radio. I mean, I think because my family, at least they made it look so easy when I was younger. I just wanted to be able to harmonize with anything, imitate any run or riff or anything like that. And I also have to slide this in. My uncle, I forget how we're related. My uncle-in-law produced the album Suddenly by Billy Ocean. He like wrote the whole thing, Keith Diamond. So I was just listening and absorbing.
Wait,
and
your uncle's Keith Diamond?
Yeah.
God damn. Okay, I know that. Shit. Yeah. Okay.
So I was listening to his music. I was listening to my dad's, my grandparents. So a combination of that and whatever was popular.
So you lived in a gospel Christian household that did not penalize you for listening to secular music. I always wanted to know. I always wanted to meet the generational chain breaking, because for a lot of other artists born in the 70s, and I mean the Clark sisters is probably the best example, where they're literally making up P-Funk songs and Stevie Wonder songs because they can't listen to that in their own households. And so, I always wondered, and I asked them, like, when you guys are doing Overdose of the Holy Ghost, like, do they not know that's Dr. Funkenstein by Parliament? Like, no one in your church is like, objection, that's a secular song.
They're not listening to that. So, if they knew what it was, then maybe it would cause a problem. But
I always wondered if there is ever going to be a day in which a Christian household is not going to be somewhat overbearing in what you receive. And so, okay.
I think my dad definitely broke that. Because he was a bass player, and so he was just, he's born in 1960, and during the 70s he's learning how to play bass and listening to all these things on the radio, trying to learn the song before it goes off and before his parents get home. I think he also tells a story of how he was in church playing for the first time, and he played a Rick James bass line, and the drummer was like, "You're gonna get in trouble."
Yo, no.
You gotta stop playing that, man.
I played right. Yeah, I got in trouble many times. Like me coming to the age of hip hop and drumming in my church, if I start playing like Top Billin' by The Audio 2, or you would know as the drum beat is Real Love by Mary J. Blige or whatever, like then the elders would start, if the kids would start doing the WAP or whatever, like start dancing, then the elders would look at me like, "You're playing secular music." And I just had to sort of morph back into a boring drummer.